Welcome to Light Sessions with Sloane, the podcast for women who know more is possible and want to bring it into their lives now. I'm Sloane, a personal and professional coach for women, and if you're here, I know you're dedicated to growth and you care about your purpose and impact. Let's dive in to explore living life even more on purpose. Caution, do not listen to this episode if you want to keep me on a pedestal in any way. I am going to share the real me, the real Sloane, and I really want to bring this episode to you from my heart because I think it's a really important conversation for us to be having as women. I used to have a therapist years ago. I think I was about 27 or 28. And I remember telling him that I was starting to notice that I was getting wrinkles. And it was making me feel like I didn't want to smile. I don't want to get these lines in my face any deeper. And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He was like, listen, the most ugly thing that a woman could ever do would be to stop smiling because she doesn't want to get wrinkles or ruin her face. We've all seen those women who are really gorgeous, but feel so bad on the inside or worried how they look and worried about things like their wrinkles or their body shape or whatever it is that actually makes them really unattractive. And on the flip side, we've all seen those women who conventionally aren't that attractive, but something about them on the inside just makes them gorgeous and magnetic. And when he shared that, I knew the truth of what he was saying. It was so true and so profound that it stuck with me ever since. Now, I'm no stranger to cosmetic surgery. I've had multiple procedures, multiple things done on my body. I actually was not born this way. And I want to talk about some of that and share some of what I've learned because it's been a really important part of my journey. Here's the most important thing to know about anything related to changing the way you look. If you're trying to change the way you look to feel better about yourself or to feel better on the inside, it's never going to happen. You might have had that experience where you're like, if only I could lose 5 pounds, if only I could change the way my hair looked or my arm or my legs or whatever it is, I would finally feel good about myself. And actually, it's one of the greatest gifts of life if you have had that experience to realize it doesn't work that way. There are a lot of women who have had plastic surgery because they're chasing feeling better. And they might have even felt better for a short time. You know, it is possible. And it's happened to me, actually, where you get some kind of procedure and people are like, oh, that looks amazing. Oh, I love that. And there's this boost of like, ooh, they noticed, ooh, that looks good. But if you're chasing after that and trying to get it, in the end, it's an escalating experience of never good enough, need to have this next thing. I'm not there yet. In the end, the only way to really feel good about yourself is to change how you're feeling inside yourself. On the flip side, changing something about how you look because it's going to make you feel good and you're excited about it and you'll enjoy it can be a really amazing thing. I had that experience with my nose. So I always had this kind of desire, this draw to having a beautiful face. And I did all this work on myself and all this personal growth and really shifting the way I related to myself on the inside. And I came to this point where I was like, I would like my nose to look different. And so I met with a couple doctors and I had a surgery to change the way my nose looked. And afterwards, I actually felt amazing. I actually do feel amazing. I love the way my face looks, but it wasn't coming from a place of like, I hate my nose. I don't want to look like this. If only I could be different. It was this sense of, wow, with the person who I've become, my face doesn't actually match with who I feel I am now. And I want to change it. And I did. And it was amazing. One of the greatest things that I ever did for myself. I love that about me. I love how my nose looks now. So notice for yourself any ways that you're changing your body. It could be something as extreme as having a surgery, and it could be getting your hair done, getting your nails done. It's like, what is the context for you of doing it? Are you actually just trying to feel good enough? Or is it still a joy for you? Is this something that's like, oh, yeah, I would really love that for myself? So I'm getting ready to have a cosmetic surgery in November. I'm going to have some work done on my eyelids and then this laser all over my face. In preparation for this experience, I've let all of the Botox and filler and everything out of my face so it can be just me going into the surgery. And in that, I've also actually stopped painting my nails, which, if you know me, that's a really big deal. I probably have had my nails done like 99.9% of my adult life, and I love it. And I was like, you know what? I want to experience myself of who I really am at this moment in time. I'm 45 years old. And since I'm doing that anyway on my face, let me just see what it feels like to also have my natural nails and to be a little more in this natural vibe of my body. And instead of just like, oh, I'm going to hide out and kind of grind it out and deal with it up until the time of the surgery, I decided to just go all the way in to really explore, how do I feel with myself in the truth of who I am without any of that stuff? What's my actual experience? And the interesting thing that's arisen is that looking at my hands and looking at my nails at first, I felt like my hands were ugly. And I started thinking about that and like, what is the context where this gorgeous physical body, the home for my soul while I'm here on this planet, the way it naturally is, I'm looking at it thinking, my nails look ugly? And I really spent some time exploring that and looking at it and taking care of my nails, just filing and, upkeep, but without all the paint and the color. And it's been revolutionary. And I know that might sound kind of silly to say about my nails, but it truly has been revolutionary for me to realize that while I've always enjoyed the nails and I love how that looks, it's kind of become a have-to thing. And what I want to experience with any of this stuff, the surgery, the maintenance, even daily maintenance, nails, shaving, all that stuff, what I want it to be is a tool that I use rather than something that's required or something that uses me. It's like how I think of the phone. I try as much as possible, I keep it on silent. I don't get notifications. Almost all the time, I put it away or just completely off when I want to be present. The phone is a tool that I use. It is not something that uses me. And the same thing with all this maintenance and the ways we curate how we look. It's so important to make sure that this is something you're choosing ongoing, not something you have to do because it's the only way you feel good enough about yourself. Not something that it's like, oh, I got to drag myself to that facial appointment because it's just another thing on the list that I have to do, that I have to take care of myself. What that creates on the inside is this drag, this heaviness, this weight. It's a version of what that therapist was talking about when he said to me that you could be a beautiful woman, but actually be ugly. When you use self-care and personal maintenance as something I have to do to be good enough, it creates that effect energetically. And people feel that. And most importantly, you feel that. It's not self-care if you aren't caring for yourself and doing it. And you're not caring for yourself and doing it if you're not enjoying it and not consciously choosing that this is something that I want to do. So I'm using this time leading up to my surgery in a couple months to really deepen my self-love, to find more of the truth of how I'm actually feeling about myself, and to become even more powerful in how I use personal care and personal maintenance and curate this look, which is something that I love to do. I love to curate how I look. That's been a hobby and a passion. I used to be a makeup artist. I love clothes. And I want to keep it that way. Keep it as what I choose for me, by me, not for anyone else, and definitely not to try to be good enough. Sisters, if you are enjoying this level of real talk, real conversation, and insights about yourself and your life as a woman, you should join us on our next Falling in Love with Yourself virtual retreat. Because the truth is, loving yourself as you are creates freedom. And if you aren't completely free in your life, there's more to go on the path of loving yourself. Let me help you clean away the noise and hear even more of your truth, the truth of the bold, brilliant, feminine you, because you deserve to live a life where you are confident and centered and clear in your physical body. And every choice you make about your body, about how you look, about how you care for yourself, every choice you make can come from this place of truly loving yourself and then add even more to your experience of self-love. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Light Sessions. Follow me on Instagram at Heart and Sloane. Click the link in the show notes. Can't wait to connect with you soon.